state, matching those two things so that by the time you walk up to the counter, they already knew who you are, where you're from, and already have your information up. In other words, they had thought through the details of saying, what can we do to make these people feel absolutely welcome and know that we have done the best? Because we are a 5-star hotel. This is who we are. This is what we do. How much more if we represent the kingdom of God? Because we have no idea what a person has gone through, and possibly even that morning come walking through those doors. Because you better believe there's a war that exists for them. And believe me, if they're looking for a way to get off the exit, to not come, Satan's going to give them every vehicle he can think of to give them that exit, to get them out of there. And so everything from the detail to the way you greet a person, that's the very first one, is greeted. 4 areas of first contact. Number 1 is greeted. The way we welcome a person. If you don't know them, because I know this is one of the fears, well, sometimes I don't know everybody's name, and I don't want to say, hey, are you new? Because maybe they've been coming for months, but I just don't know them or haven't met them. And so there becomes that fear. Well, a great way to overcome that, I think, when you're greeting them, saying, hey, I haven't had a chance to meet you yet. My name is so-and-so. What is your name? And then you can say, well, how long have you been coming? Look for creative ways to engage that conversation. Even our greeters and our ushers, when your first person's walking in, be able to greet them and say, it is so glad. I am so glad to have you with us today. Make it personal. Make it genuine. Okay? You know the kind of greeters I'm looking for? I'm looking for greeters who are already naturally smile. Okay? I'm not looking for someone who I can train how to smile. Okay? You can't, I heard one business person say you can't send a duck to eagle school. Alright? If a duck's a duck, they're a duck. Okay? But I'm looking for people who are already naturally. You know what? If you naturally love to welcome people, if you're naturally warm, if you naturally want to smile, if you naturally want to shake their hands, so glad you're with us, you're the person I want to be greeting at the front door. Saying, you know what? We are so glad you're with us today. Because if you ask the question, well, what brought you today to the church? The truth is, if you ask that question, there's no telling what the real answer is. They may be unbelievably struggling with the moment of life they're in, or maybe they just had a tragedy, or maybe something has just occurred, or maybe this weekend they dealt with one of the major sins in their life and they're really struggling, and even out of guilt and shame, they're somehow coming back with their tail between their legs. Who knows? But you know what? What we do is just from the moment they arrive, we embrace them. We are glad that you are here. Okay? Now don't misunderstand me. That doesn't mean we're not going to challenge where we're at. That doesn't mean we're not going to challenge the way they think, challenge the process, and point them to redemption. That doesn't mean we're not going to do that. We are. But everything we can do. In fact, here's the permission level. You know what? Part of what I want to see the connections team, part of what I want them to do is that hospitality. You know what? Be creative. We need to redo those bathrooms, but even with what we have, so when I brought that up as we were leaving, David mentioned it to me. He used what he had. It's one of the questions he said, and I thought the same thing. Where did he get the acorns? Where did he get that from? He had to have a resource somewhere. Well, you know what? He figured out a way. Because here's one of the things I want to take out of our culture, and this includes me. I want to take out the word can't. I found myself saying, well, we can't do that because, and a lot of times my sentence ended with, I don't have the money for that. I kept having a financial issue with this or a financial issue with that. And there's all these different projects. And I had a dear saint that talked to me and said, Pastor, you have too many projects and you need to narrow it down. And I said, I do have a lot of projects, but we're not doing any of them because I can't afford to do any of them. And so, but there's a lot out there. And then I realized, you know what? We need to simply say, okay, God, with the means of what you've put into our hands, what can we do with what we have? And there is much that we can do. In other words, anywhere that you can add value, look to add value. If a couple of you on the connections team, you want to go out and get what women want to have in the bathroom, think about it. Whether it's lotions, go to the extra degree and make sure it looks. That could be just one of those simple ways. What do? Well, I make sure the bathrooms in this place look great down to the detail. Because it communicates something to every person that walks into them. So, because the way a person is greeted is not just the physical, but it's not the physical person, but it's also the physical appearance. From the moment they walk in, we've got signage issues. We've done a lot more with signs inside the building, and that's a huge help because even some of the 101 classes, they said what the signs communicate that you actually want visitors here. It says a lot. And then the other thing is we have signs. We need more signs outside of the building that actually say who we are. A lot of people who go to this employment office have no idea who we are. A lot of people who live in this neighborhood that have no idea we're even a church. I don't want to become well known around the world, but I do want our neighborhood to know we're here. That should be one of our goals. Okay? But I've talked a lot actually with Wayne. Wayne is one of the ones that God has brought here and loved the baptism on Sunday. And his heart and his family, they add such a value here in what God is already doing. And part of his expertise and what he brings is the grounds maintenance. That's what he does for U of I. And so what we've already been talking with him about is to begin to develop a master plan of the outside of this building. Because especially in an area of our city, in a neighborhood where a lot of these places get run down, we should pop with excellence. There should be flowers. There should be life. I mean, I love on Easter that these big tulip trees bloom, like this one that's right across the street over there. No snakes.
No snakes.
No snakes. We kill snakes. I've killed snakes here. But you know, we want, because those appearances, that's the part I want us to think. Greeting has everything to do with our hearts, our attitudes, the philosophy of what we do and why we do what we do. We are all a part of that team. I want to do everything we can. We're working with our leadership now and making changes in that, and doing what we need to do, even with our volunteers, to say, you know what, in everything we do, we want to value the people that work with us. We want to value the people that God is bringing into this place, whether it's the person's first time or whether they've been here their whole life. I want every person to know when I came into that place, I was welcomed, I was wanted there, I was embraced and loved in that place, and challenged there to change and walk after Jesus. I want all those things to happen. So that happens in the details. The next one is directed. So they're first greeted, both with friendly smile, friendly face, and they're greeted with our building. We're going to be working on that, continuing to improve in that area. Like another one that we want to do, I'm actually going to be coming out in the next handful of weeks, our 2010 kind of project list of things that we want to accomplish. One of those is every gray chair we have needs to be replaced. Those 25 years old. They're breaking apart every week. So, and it takes, that's one of those areas where it just takes money. Well, you know what? We'll be creative. And again, all of us coming together, it can happen. It can work. So, but that communicates a lot too. So it's greeted, they're welcomed, and the next one is directed. If all of us are on the same page of helping people find what they're looking for. In other words, if you're wearing a lanyard and you see a family come in, you see them have kids, you know, just even making sure if they have a question, you don't only just give them the answer. If you don't know the answer, you say, you know what, but I'll help you find someone who does. Or if they do not even know where something is, or if you're not sure if they've been to a Sunday school class, you say, hey, do you have a Sunday school class that you attend? Well, no, not really. Oh, really? Can I answer any questions that you may have? Or can I show you where some of our Sunday school classes are? Or can I tell you about what those Sunday school classes are and what they're kind of like, and different ones operate in different ways? In other words, be proactive to give them direction about how to connect. Or you may even be in a conversation with someone where you say, you know what, this happens a lot for me. Like, you know what, here's a couple things you need to do. Here's a life group you need to get involved with. Here's a Sunday school class you really need to be a part of. Here's a Wednesday night class I think would help you. We already have tons of resource available. It's just plugging people into that. And it's down to that when someone asks you that basic question, and with the smile on your face and generally wanting to help them, say, you know what, here's where our kids' check-in center, I'll help walk you guys down there. Okay? And so being proactive with not only the greeting, but then the directing. And even as people are coming into the sanctuary, between connections team and greeters and ushers, between all three of those groups, people are made to feel welcome. If they need help finding a seat, you're going to help them do that. Whatever we can do to help people connect here better, that becomes the bottom line. That's what we want to do. So it's greeted, directed, and the third one is treated. Finding a way to treat them with respect, and actually making them feel like we are glad they are here. Have you ever, part of this is if you've never been the new person, it's hard to understand that experience. You ever walk into the place where you're a new person and you don't know what to expect, and there's that one or two people that just make you feel unbelievably welcome? For you, they are gold. Man, because you felt a little lost. Confidence is a byproduct of predictability. I know what to predict. I'm confident with what's going to happen. You're the new person and you walk in and it feels kind of awkward and you feel out of place. If you don't make any connections, then by the time you're leaving, you say, I can't go back. I didn't make any real connections there. So how we make a person treated, or if you've ever walked into a place, because there have been times that I walk in, and especially before we were senior pastors, but going to a new place or a new church, and it's surprising. Because they'll even greet you, but you can really tell it's just, oh, they're just taking my hand, or that's the greeter, they're supposed to do that. Or I don't know if they're really glad I'm here or not. And it's not like I'm looking for some kind of extra treatment or anything like that, but it's just that sense that we get from one another that we're willing to go the extra mile. So you know what? We want every person that comes to our doors to be greeted. We want every person to have direction and where they need to go and how things operate within the church. And we want